Now, Jim, at the top of the show, you mentioned Cathie Wood and ARK, and I want to talk specifically about their Palantir purchase from yesterday. They bought over 2.6 million shares. What are your latest thoughts on this stock, and do you think it's a buy?
You know, it's obvious this is a very core position, and it's a very good company. It does military-grade software. How about that? And it gets a lot of different contracts. I see them endlessly as getting government contracts. And so therefore, it's very steady work. What I don't understand is why you would do such concentrated buying at one level. I mean, that's just not, she's the greatest investor of our time. Isolated Tesla's got a lot of really good growth stocks. One day, those will come back. But it's almost like obsession to just keep buying Palantir. And again, I'm reluctant to criticize the best of our time, but it's not what I would do. But that's not my style. She likes to be in and be in big, all at one level. And she's been buying Palantir, and I think that there are a lot of people in Wall Street bets that like Palantir. It is a very good company, but I don't know what it's worth. All I know is that she keeps buying it. If she walked away, it would be substantially lower.
What's up, guys? It's Henry. I've got some very important reasons that I'm going to be adding some shares of Palantir when the market opens on Monday. Cathie Wood keeps adding shares of Palantir, and it has Wall Street confused, but I know why she's buying shares, and I think she's going to make a lot of money from her recent addition. Palantir just signed a huge deal and partnership with one of the biggest companies in the world, and it's valued at over $1 trillion. I'm neutral on Jim Cramer. He's not the top person I research, but it's interesting to see how confused he is about Cathie's purchase. As you guys can see, ARK-K and ARK-W in aggregate are still adding shares every single day. PLTR started the week at under $23 per share, so I told the Patreon I'm buying the stock, and I discussed an option play that returned 3% in 3 days. I'd love you guys to join the Patreon because we pick winners everywhere. We eat as a family, we grow as a family, and we get stupid rich together over there. I'm active daily making sure you guys are making that money. What's interesting about Palantir is that they beat earnings twice, both in Q3 2020 and Q4 2020, and I think they're going to be coming in with the goods in the first quarter of 2021 because they keep signing large government contract deals, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. What makes Palantir a buy on my list and really stand out from the crowd is they virtually have no competition. I mean, guys, it's not even close. There is no competition for Palantir. They have exclusive relationships with the defense sector, and I believe they're going to be the only software as a service provider for data eventually as they continue to penetrate those government contracts. Over the past decade, records show its increasing familiarity with the Pentagon through its Gotham Analytics software. It's used in the Iraq by the Special Operations Command. The company also worked in the US Army's Distributed Common Ground System, a battlefield intelligence platform. It's involved with the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, made headlines in 2019 when it was revealed that its software was being used to help locate undocumented immigrants in the United States. Palantir is a unique stock that's basically an investment into the growing United States government. I think this stock will double to $50 per share by the end of 2021. I also looked at Reddit, and PLTR is a very active stock over there in the communities. So much of Reddit is bullish on PLTR, and I've seen some interesting posts like this one. I think a lot of people are going to be using their stimulus checks, just like you see on screen, to invest in growing stocks, and Palantir is going to be benefiting from this. A couple weeks ago, Palantir co-founder Stephen Cohen and other executives took advantage of the lockup expiration, and they ended up selling some shares and cashing out of their positions. Now, Cathie Wood, she saw this, she scooped up some PLTR on a discount, and I think that was a very strategic play on her end. Now, Cathie is being opportunistic, and since she's a long-term investor, I think she's taking advantage of both Stephen Cohen and the other executives' needs for liquidity. In the market, when there is more sellers than buyers, there's downward pressure on a stock because it doesn't have enough liquidity. Now, guys, Cathie stepped in and provided the market liquidity during the sell-off, and she got a very great entry price. PLTR provides data analytics software to high-end government clients. We know that already, FBI, CIA, and Department of Homeland Security, to name a few. And now I want to talk about the financials because in fiscal 2020, full year revenue rose 47% from 2019 totals to $1.1 billion. The company's commercial unit, by the way, which deals with private clients, grew 107% year over year to make up over 40% of sales, while the government-focused business grew 77%, but it represents 56% of their business. The predictive analytics Palantir offers has already saved companies massive sums of money from aviation, defense, and government, but also big data analytics, guys, is not going anywhere. This type of field is going to be continuously growing, especially as we are going to grow the digital economy, especially because we're currently in the information age. And honestly, when I look at companies like the S&P 500, all the top 10 companies, they're all abusing data. They're using data to their advantages. We're gonna look at Amazon, Facebook, Google. All of these companies have massive leads and are making enormous profits because they have so much data on their users. Now that's going to be very important for Palantir as well going into the future, because they're gonna continue to get not just government contracts, but they're also gonna get private and public companies that are going to be reaching out to them for their services. And it's very clear the writing is on the wall. Kathy is really smart and she knows that this trend is going to be making PLTR a lot of money, but you also don't have to be a genius to understand that now more than ever during work from home, the digital economy that I mentioned that's going to be expanding, that this company will continue to collect piles of data, and it's going to be using this data not just to gain more government contracts, but also its customers are gaining data and they need a software as a service provider. PLTR can double from the current levels without question. I can see this stock really popping up, especially as Reddit and more investors get behind this. If we see some Wall Street analysts get behind this stock and put up their price targets that are going to be looking attractive, then I can see this stock exploding in the near future in second half of 2021. Now people start to figure out that PLTR has a lot of advantages and the field is very lucrative because the margins are so thick. Even under $30 per share, I'm a buyer of PLTR because long-term, there is just no competitor that is going to jump in and compete with what PLTR has already built. They have already spent so much research and development dollars. Now, Alex Karp is also a master at his craft. He is so dedicated to the company as the CEO. I mean, he's like a Jack Dorsey, he's like an Elon Musk, he's like a Jeff Bezos. This guy is very serious, and what I like to invest in is the management behind the company. This is a stock I am bullish on because of the long-term outlook, guys. Kathy Wood knows what she is doing when it comes to innovation, and her recent purchases only confirm my previous analysis on PLTR. I was talking about PLTR before they even IPO'd because I knew that they had a lot of government contracts. Now guys, before I wrap up, I got a penny stock I want to mention that I've seen gaining a lot of interest out there. It's called Sundial Growers. Now this stock ticker symbol is SNDL. This may not be new to some of you guys, but I'm putting it on my stupid rich list because it's been crushed in the past couple weeks. It came down to a level that makes it much more attractive for a double up depending on how long you hold it for. It's currently sitting at $1.42, and this is a Canadian cannabis play, guys. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about pot stocks, and I've decided that this is one that I like after doing some research into the play. They are an early mover into the Canadian cannabis market. We got a good play here because last month this stock was over $2 per share, and I think we can see those prices again. Now remember, you want to get into a stock when it falls down, when it's becoming cheaper and it presents itself an opportunity to buy a stock on a discount. If this stock pops 30% in the next couple of weeks, you have a decision to make on your hands because I want you guys to take profits on short-term swing plays. Like pot stocks, these stocks may not be sustainable in the long term because this space is changing so fast. So if you end up making good profits in a short amount of time, I do recommend you guys take the profits. And also, if this stock does pull back, I want you guys to be protected. I want you guys to have a trailing stop loss on this trade. And another reason you want to have a trailing stop loss on this stock is because you want to protect yourself against a downward swing. I typically don't put trailing stop losses, but for a momentum play like this one, you really want to be protected. And I would set a stop trailing loss 10% below your purchase price if you do want to get into this one. And if it does go the other way, you do want to cut your losses and just move on to the next one. I'm going to post a list of hot penny stocks I'm going to be buying on the Patreon, so make sure you check it out in the description. Join me there if you guys want to get stupid rich and make all sorts and all kinds of gains. I'd love to have you there. I pretty much post every single day. And as always, guys, I really appreciate it if you like and subscribe to the video. I do read your comments. I absolutely love your comments. So just make sure you guys do one thing for me. Be aggressive in learning, but be safe in investing.